Jackie Kashian, Laurie Kilmartin.
Got it. We're recording, and my name is Jackie Kashian, and this is the Jackie and Laurie Show.
My name is Laurie Kilmartin. For some reason, even though I had very little travel this weekend, there were 1-hour flights. I'm tired. But you must be wiped.
I'm wiped just because I'm not good at altitude, and I've since one time, like 3 times ago, the manager of the Comedy Works was like, "Well, I can get you those oxygen things," and I was like, "Oh my god, what a great idea! How come I never thought of that before?" And this time I went in early because of Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And I went to Silverthorne.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, right. Well, are you going to tell about that gig, or are you going to do Comedy Works first?
No, Silverthorne was hilarious because it was a blizzard when we got there. It started snowing and it was super cold. It was like 7. And I went with Dr. Kevin. And Dr. Kevin is a veterinarian. He's been doing stand-up forever. Dr. Kevin Fitzgerald is a veterinarian, and he has 5 lives. And
you see, I think I met him once, but he just seems like the coolest guy. You know what I mean? And he remained a cool guy because he has a second life.
He's got so many lives. Well, yes. The short version is that he was a road security guy for the Rolling Stones.
Wow.
And Mick Jagger paid for his veterinary school.
Oh, I think I heard something like this. Yeah.
And then he also worked with Diana Ross and all these different bands doing security. And then he was a vet, and he has plug and play. So it was an hour and a half to drive from to Denver to Silverthorne. And we drive there and he tells me many stories. And then we get there and we do our show. And the show is fine. The show is in sort of this like town hall kind of thing, like small mountain town. The town of Silverthorne itself, very pretty, but a little, I was surprised because it had chains. Like there was a Jimmy John's. So
okay.
Right. So
I that was the third version of chains I'm visualizing. I'm like, does she mean chain link fences or chains on but Jimmy John's? Okay.
Right. And it was very much it felt like they were I tell that joke about billionaires. Yeah. And they tightened up on me. So, and then I said something along the lines of, "You guys seem like you're almost rich enough to live in Vail." And so there was a little bit of pushback on that.
Why did they consider themselves wealthier than Vail?
No, I think I was just a little too accurate, and it became something. And then in the middle of my set, I talk about going to Eastern Europe, and some guy yelled in the audience, "Where'd you go to Eastern Europe?" And so I rattle off the countries I go to, and then I'm in the middle of the bit, and he stands up, or a man, one of 2 Polish immigrants stands, because later I met the other one. But this guy stands up and he's kind of half in the bag, and he yells, "I am from Poland and fuck Russia." And I said, I bet you that's, I think that's fine. And we could talk about it later. And then he went to the bar and got another beverage, which felt real on brand. From what I know of Polish immigrants.
And just Eastern Europe in general. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we're driving back. We're driving because we could have stayed. There was a Hampton Inn, a glorious Hampton Inn that we both could have stayed in. But there was the beginning of a blizzard. And
so you need to get out because you don't want to drive in it tomorrow back to Denver, right?
Right. He was like, the pass could be closed tomorrow. And I had a dark night. Like Tuesday was a show, Wednesday there was nothing, and then show started Thursday. So yeah.
Well, could you have stayed over an extra day in this resort and just
Yeah. But he didn't want to. And he's 71 and he's willing to drive at night in a blizzard. And he knows things about the mountains that I don't. Sure. So I was like, okay, we'll do it. So we're driving back, and he tells the story, as you can imagine, how exciting the story was for me, of the most doomed merch ever.
Oh, please.
Holy
I've never
smokes.
been more excited about this podcast.
First of all, it's the fact that he is a veterinarian, and he was telling me about when he first got passed at the Comedy Works in Denver.
Yeah.
He kept bringing animals on stage.
Oh.
He did a bit where he had a chicken, and he
Yeah.
talked about how great the chicken was, and then at the end of his act he pulled out a baby chick, and he said Wendy wasn't psyched about it. And then another time he brought 3 frogs and he stacked them, and I was like, hey, Dr. Kev, she's trying to run a restaurant. I mean, she serves food. She's kind of loose
She serves
animals.
chicken and perhaps frogs on some of her fancier nights. But honestly, animals and comedians, it's a time-honored tradition on the Tonight Show, Carson, Jack Hanna, Conan. Okay, that's
Right, right.
a natural fit. I'm sorry.
They do love an animal, but that might be a man comedy thing. I'm not that excited
Yeah, for
about
sure.
bringing an animal into the mix. But okay, so we're driving back, and we're talking about just merch and about comedy, and he tells me in 1992 his brother, they were going to go see the Pope, and then they decide that they're going to sell Pope merch across the street from where the Pope is. And remember, he is a veterinarian. And so every sentence of this that I'm about to say is amazing.
All right.
2 words: ant farms.
Hmm.
Shaped as the Pope's head,
What?
hand blown glass.
Oh my God.
He had 88 of them made. He sold 2.
Oh no. Oh my God.
Ant farms shaped as the Pope's head, hand blown glass.
How much did that cost?
$11 each to make them in 1992. He was selling them for $35 each. He had 86 left over. I said, what did you do with them? And he goes, well, your birthdays and Christmas.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of people love John Paul II. When you look back,
That's what he said.
long
He
for
said it
him.
would have been huge if a cop wouldn't have come over and rousted him because they didn't have a permit.
Oh,
They might have sold them. And I said, nope, no, you wouldn't have. This is the most doomed merch since my father thought I should throw painter's caps into the audience in 1996.
wow. Man and merch, they shouldn't be together in the same sentence. I'm gonna say it.
It's such a weird idea, the whole idea of merch. And what I sold
that
so
was
much
just-
merch this week, by the way.
Oh my God, tell me about
Yeah,
it.
all of it. I sold almost all of it.
How many
Uh,
shirts did you sell?
Well, I usually bring 3 of each size, so 15, and then I bring 1 3X, 1 4X
Mhm.
of 17. Let's say I bring 17 of 3 different t-shirts because I am the Walmart of comedy. So I bring
Oh,
like 45 shirts.
you sold all of them?
I think I have 4 left. But I also give a deal on the 3X and 4X. I don't charge extra, even though they are extra. And I also haven't, the prices have slightly gone up just because they're union made and they're American made. And, but I have seen this. Have you, like, when you go to a concert, you spend $40 on a t-shirt.
Minimum, yeah.
And
And
it's
you
been,
and I are constantly going to concerts, so we know what's happening at concerts.
when I say concerts, I'm talking about, I went and saw the Music Man and I bought a t-shirt with trumpets on it. And so
No, that merch is unbelievably overpriced. Yes,
it
it's
was
great.
$40, and it was literally, there was a toddler under the table putting it together. It was such a poorly made
okay.
t-shirt.
Yes.
Anyway, but yeah, so I sold a gajillion t-shirts. I sold so many challenge coins, my dad's challenge coins.
Oh my God.
I even sold a pile of Spooky Reading Girl pins and Meat Shield pins. I might be out of Meat Shield pins. And then I sold some CDs and DVDs.
Wow. That's incredible.
Though
Can you
last
put a dollar amount that you think you made on merch in the chat? Just let me look and see what's possible.
oh,
Let me just see what's
Um,
possible.
well, I mean, I think people could do the math.
I
on-
can't. That's why I asked.
Right.
Wow.
So
That covers a lot. And then that's your profit. That's
No, that's gross.
okay.
So
What's gross?
gross is as opposed to net, my friend.
I know, but I don't know I can't remember what either of them mean ever. Okay.
So that would be net. Net would be after cost.
Okay.
So that would be profit. Net is profit.
Okay.
If I have the
remember that.
feel free to email me if I've gotten that wrong.
Profit. How can I don't know. I will try to figure out some sort of naming convention to remember it, but I never do. Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, it was great. And then last night I was just packing up. I was second show Saturday, packing up my merch. Some guy waited till the very end. I did really well. Sold out, filled the balcony in Comedy South.
So were you downtown or
Comedy Works South? I don't.
Okay.
Denver being the only place that I'm famous, is she has me at South because it seats 100 more people.
Wow.
And so, first show Friday had balcony full, and both shows Saturday balcony full. So, so I'm putting away the merch. Second show last night, and a guy waited till the very end in his 50s, not bad looking. He comes up to me, he just tells me how much he really liked my show and really likes my stand-up, and then told me I was fat. And I was like, what just happened? And he was like, you're just so gifted. You're carrying a lot of extra weight, right? And I said, wow, yes, I do know that. And he said, well, I'm just worried about you. I was watching you up on stage, and do you have some issues with your hips? And I was like, my hips? And I said, are you a chiropractor? And he goes, no, I just, I care. And I was like, you got to stop talking to me. You got to stop talking to me now, buddy.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then he walked out, and then two of the guys, the working guys, the door guys came over, and I was like, well, that guy just really shocked me with too much info about myself.
Yeah.
And one of the guys goes, what was he wearing? And I was like, no, don't go after him. It was very sweet of them.
It's so weird that, because there's always somebody in the audience just watching you. They're not enjoying the show for whatever weird reason. They're watching you. They're looking at your hips or whatever the fuck.
Right. I was like,
oh my God,
my hips. What is happening, sir?
Oh my God, crazy.
Yeah. It was so that was but the shows and the comics I worked with were all great. Jeff Tice, who did the art for both my Squish t-shirt and my Staycation album cover.
Did my Centaur art.
He did your Centaur art. Yeah, he can do all different kinds.
Yeah.
We actually had dinner on Friday night we had dinner. And then Saturday I had dinner with a friend of mine from college and her new boyfriend, and that was delightful. He, it turns out, is in the cannabis industry. And so I said, as I do, what do you like to read? And he said, oh, I'm really into history. And I said, oh, I'm reading some historical fiction. What kind of history? This guy that I met, very nice guy, entirely about the history of a small town in Colorado from 1860 to 1885.
Oh my God.
It could not have been. It was
weirder. Jackie, no one's listening. Weirder. There was some strange energy in Colorado this trip.
I was like, if this were a dork forest, I could at least take a deep dive with this. And I tried to channel some dork forest because I wanted to like him because he's my friend's boyfriend. And I didn't want to be bored at dinner. You ever have a conversation with someone and you choose to be interested? That is sometimes what I have done. That's what the dork forest is to some extent.
Sure, you have to spend some energy keeping your brain focused on what they're saying.
Yeah, and it was vaguely interesting. It was he had gone to like the city land office. It was a lot. It was did I tell you that I realized this week, back to stand up, that and I will close on this about how great the Comedy Works was and how lovely it was. But I realized this week, and Oh, I think I did. I told you last week about the gentrification versus white flight,
Mhm.
and you had recommended writing a joke about gentrification,
Oh, because
and then I could do a callback.
yes, right, because I don't think people know what it means right off the top of their heads.
Right,
So,
because I
right,
had said that they did not,
yeah.
and it didn't work. I would say 3 out of 5 shows, 3 out of 6 shows, maybe. It worked because the audience skewed older,
Yeah.
but a couple of shows I had to tag it up with what the hell gentrification, what the hell white flight was.
Oh, well,
So the
yeah,
journey continues, is what I'm
yeah.
saying.
I think there's something in there though.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
How was your week?
let's see. I just did spots in town through Friday. You know what? It's weird. Like I had a lot of shows this week where I just got there early, and so I listened
Oh,
to a lot of comedy,
okay.
and it was good. It was good, but it was also like every once in a while you're like, oh, we're all talking about the same thing. Okay.
Yeah, we are. Yeah,
All
we
right.
are.
So let me, I'm going to tweak this setup a little bit because it's similar to some, even though it's this, the joke was very different, whatever
Yeah,
the setup was very similar. And I'm like, oh, all right. So let me just
that's just smart.
tweak. But also watching a lot of comedy does sort of, you know, I do like just going in not knowing what happened so I can focus on what I'm doing instead of going, oh, well, that person touched on this topic and that person touched on this topic. So I guess I won't do those. And, when it's a long showcase and there's like 6 or 8, what,
Right. Right.
but it was still good. And then, okay, so I cut up parts of my 2017 Conan set and I put them on TikTok, right? And I put
Good.
the joke up a long time ago, the cop joke.
Yeah.
And then I put up the letting my son throwing him in the water and
Oh,
almost
yeah, yeah.
right?
About Sunday.
Yeah, okay. And so that just picked up like a lot of Spanish speaking people really liked it.
Oh,
Okay.
great. That's awesome.
It's doing really well. So that's cool. It's like over 500,000 right now, which is like,
Dude,
to me, that's really big.
there we go.
Yeah.
See, you're getting the hang of this.
Sure. So then I put up another joke in that chunk. There's like a couple little jokes, and then there's that longer piece, and they're all part of the idea white mom, Hispanic son, right?
Right, right.
So the other one is it's just joke about his name, right?
Oh,
And
right,
so
right. The
put it up-
Muhammad. Yeah.
Mohammed Martinez. Yeah. So I put it up and it's doing okay. And then someone goes, that's a super bad joke. And
Oh.
I'm like, oh, well, I've never seen super bad. And I commented, and now I never will. I mean,
Oh, right. Oh, the movie Superbad?
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, because that joke's done. It's on an album and it's on Conan from 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm just putting it up because I got it and it looks good.
You need content.
Yeah. But I'm like, should I want, like, I don't, also sometimes when people go, that's the same thing. It's like, and then you watch, you're like, no, maybe it mentioned something.
They're not.
They're not?
I know both jokes and they're not. Like the premise that Muhammad is the most common name in the world is not a single joke's worth of thing. Like it is.
No, it's a fact.
It's
not
exactly. Yeah. You
It's
good.
just a fact that it turns on. But like, so I was thinking, oh, should I watch it and then, do a side by side? But I'm like, I don't want to get this
No.
fall.
No, definitely not.
Then you'd have to watch Superbad. Don't do it.
Listen, well, first, okay. First of all, it's all guys that are having this discussion, young men, right?
Yep.
And let me tell you that Superbad, I just looked into it. I didn't watch it. I know why I didn't see it.
Right. It was
Jonah
not made
Goldberg's
for
in
us.
it,
It was
right?
not made for us.
Perhaps Seth Rogen. I don't know. I can never tell those two apart. Like and they're all that genre of movie is not aimed at Laurie Kilmartin. And that movie came out in 2007 when I had a 1-year-old and a full-time job and was doing comedy at night.
Yeah.
It would never ever happen that I would see Superbad.
Right. It's not on your
Also,
radar. Yeah.
Not seeing The Hangovers. Okay.
Nope.
And
Nope,
I
me
haven't.
neither.
There's a lot of movies I haven't seen because they star. To me, it's that genre of a slobby white guy, and all the actresses are super skinny and anorexic. And I'm
Do you
like,
know the one that we would have seen was Porky's?
right.
That
Right.
is
I
that
have
right, which I did.
always,
I avoided Porky's when I
if
was 18.
anyone tells me I have a joke that's like Porky's, I will definitely take a look at it. But the other thing, I was like, this is so weird that this is happening right now because that Conan set's really old. It's
Mhm.
been on, the full set's been on YouTube for a long time. And before I did that set, at least worked on that joke for like 2 years,
Right.
right? And then I did it up through 2019 when I recorded my album. No, not a single comic or any person ever mentioned it, ever.
Right.
And so I was like, I mean, if had anyone said anything while I was working on it, I would have
It's because it
watched
isn't.
deeper
There's
back.
it has
Yeah,
no
that's what made me
there's
think
nothing.
like
Yeah.
maybe, okay, maybe it's
Not
not.
at all. Not at all. I
So
get a lot of sort of anime references. People are like, that sounds like this girl from like Avatar, or it was anime, like the spooky reading girl bit.
yeah,
Sometimes I get anime references to that. The other, because I put that back up.
right.
I am running uh clips over and over again, by the way.
Jackie, it's working, right?
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
you getting a lot of more, you're getting a lot more followers and stuff like that?
Yeah, I just got 4,000 more followers, so I'm at 100. I'm almost at 137,000
That's
followers.
crazy.
And my what's it called, Instagram followers have doubled since I started putting up clips. I almost have 80,000.
See, I find Instagram, there's so many comedy clips. To me, it's not pleasurable anymore, but I'm a comic. Regular people apparently love this shit.
Yeah, a lot
I
of people
get it.
came to the show this weekend. They saw Instagram Reels.
Really?
Yeah, I had any number of people tell me that, and I was like, good, because I'm grinding
Great.
it out. Yeah.
That's great.
I also like to go to Snapchat and see what the filter is. I was a winter pickle because I'm going to Vermont.
I saw that and I
Yeah,
was shocked.
you were shocked to find out. You know what I somebody commented, older guy commented.
Yeah.
He said, "You're in a pickle," and I was like, "Oh, look what I left lying on the table." That
Yeah.
pun. I left that pun lying
There's
on
a
the
reason you left it on the table because
table.
but the other, like, part of me is like, well, like, okay, so I have some bits that are about like the Old Testament from
Uh-huh.
early 2000s, and I could put them up, but Louis did them in his show after I had my shit already. Now, I'm not saying he stole it, but anyone would look at that and go, "Oh, that's from Louis' show." It's like, no, actually, I put this on an album before his show was, put on FX. So,
Right.
but I just don't know how to deal with that's like, I don't want to have to worry about receipts.
Oh,
When
right,
I
right.
joke. Like I stopped, like that one joke I was going to bring back that somebody almost did on Colbert, and I happened to remember. I'm like, how long has he been touring doing that joke? And everyone thinks that's a his joke. And if I were to do it, people would think I stole from myself.
Right. That's not, yeah, it's not happening. But I will say that, like, it just isn't, when I think about, I had that joke about uh, diabetic medicine costing $3,000. And then that's 3,000 new cats, right? It was diabetic cat medicine, $3,000. Punchline, 3,000 new cats. Cats are free.
Huh.
So, back 2000, and that joke I think is from 2006,
Yeah.
2000 something, 3 maybe. And a couple of years after that album came out and the video came out, the cartoon of it, I was at the Improv, and Tom Papa, and for some reason I did that bit. I did the LA Pet bit, and then I got off stage, and then Tom Papa followed me like 2 or 3 comics later, destroyed, except for a bit he did about having to buy diabetic cat medicine for his cat, and it being $3,000, and that being 3,000 new cats verbatim. Do you know why? Because that's the line. That's the joke. That's the fucking joke. There's no other joke to write about a $3,000 medicine for a cat. And
Right.
so, but he didn't steal it from me.
Right.
But it was amazing though, because his set was just way up here, and then he did that joke, and it just the bottom fell out, and then he kept going. They were just confused, right?
Jackie, that other comic stole it from me.
Oh yeah, Yeah. You had that.
He
Yeah.
he has a reputation for hearing and remembering and repeating jokes later on, and that was one.
Wait,
He
is it
same
that
cadence.
guy?
Wait,
Is it this guy? No.
no, who are you talking about? No, 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 no.
Okay. Oh. I am so sorry. But anyway, I went up to top. Oh, really?
Yeah,
The tea in this chat today.
yeah.
Oh
He was
my-
gonna go on Colbert and do my 10-year-old joke.
Oh, I actually
You
now
remember
I
that?
do. Now I
Yeah.
remember that. Yes.
That's the thing. That's why I
Mm.
wonder. This guy tours and stuff.
Yep.
He has a ton of audience that have seen him tell that joke, and I just stopped him at the last second. How many thousands of people have heard that and go, oh, "That's his joke," you know?
I was in the room once when
Gosh.
someone compared him to this comic, and the guy
Right.
and your guy cried.
What? What? Why'd he cry?
He cried because he was like, "No, I'm more unique than that."
His bit about
And
his Mexican
Hedberg? Oh,
son's
I
really
don't
funny.
think. Whoa, interesting. I don't think we have to. We don't have to. It was Mitch Hedberg that was being compared to. I think we're
Right.
safe
Oh,
there.
you could say Mitch Hedberg
Yeah.
because he's passed. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, he's not part
And
of
who wouldn't want to be compared to Mitch Hedberg?
it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you don't want to be compared to anybody, obviously. I mean,
No.
nobody wants to be compared to anybody. You want to be considered a unique flower. But if you were going to be compared to somebody, feel free to be compared to a genius, right?
Yes.
A guy with a horrible, horrible drug addiction, but also really good at the job. Really,
Great.
really good at the job.
And very nice.
And very nice.
Incredibly nice. Like that's not the image I always had of a drug addict was not that they were nice. Like the ones I knew were prickly pears at best, and he was every time I had an interaction with him, he was incredibly nice.
Yes, he was a very sweet guy. And then the last couple of times I saw him, he couldn't have been not nice because he was on heroin. So there's real hard to be mean. You don't have the energy.
Yeah.
So very sad. Very sad.
Yeah. Very.
Well,
very
it bummed
sad.
me out when he died because I was, when I decided one year to stop drinking on my birthday, and I happened to be working with him, and he was like, "Not on your birthday. I'm buying shots," and I drank for another 2 years.
His legacy lives on in all of us.
Everyone has a Mitch Hedberg story. In the Acme in Minneapolis, he stole a lamp from some hotel he was staying at and brought it into the green room. And for some reason, Lewis kept it. So it's
All
weird.
right, I like it.
Yeah.
So I decided after the only response was I have not seen Superbad and now I never will. That will be my only reply.
Yeah.
And then they can have these little bees can buzz around and have their little discussion. Most people are loving it. There is a certain cohort that doesn't like me saying the word Mohammed whatsoever. There's like different pockets of
Right.
discussion that are kind of interesting in the chat, but for mostly it's like laughing emojis or whatever. That's fine.
Right. And whenever anybody's too critical, I literally delete it because they don't get it. I'm like, if you don't get the joke,
Right.
allow me to help you away from me.
You can delete a comment.
A comment?
on Facebook?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just blocked a couple people, but
I also block, I also filter, and then I just freaking delete the comments.
okay.
Hey, let's take a quick break, shall we?
Yeah.
And now we're back. Yeah, so
Okay.
the good
wait,
news, yep, go ahead.
Take another break and figure out comic of the week. We have a comic of the week.
Excellent.
So Val Tazi emailed me at the last second on Monday and said, "Do you want to do a set at Mermaid Hour?" And I was like, "Hell yeah!" I was so excited. And
Awesome.
so there's some people I hadn't seen before, including very very funny Chicago lady named Victoria Vincent.
Victoria Vincent.
Yeah.
I wonder if I've met her. Sometimes I have.
Yeah.
And especially in Chicago, I might have met her. And so her handle on Instagram is Victoria is okay.
And then an
So-
underscore.
and then an underscore.
Right,
Okay.
there's another Victoria is okay. without it.
Must
Wow.
be. But
Every name
find
is-
Victoria is okay and get on it. By the way, you're gonna have to do something with the Twitter feed because I can't get to the other Twitter. I can get to
Okay.
our Twitter feed
Okay.
anymore because I'm only able to access my Twitter from
Oh, because
operating systems because of the credit card.
all right. Yeah. Okay, we'll do that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got it.
So Victoria is okay. What's her last
Very
name? again?
funny.
Vincent. That's it.
Vincent.
Yeah.
I think
That's
she's
awesome.
more than okay. I think she's great.
Right. Believe in yourself, Victoria. Get some-
Vicky Vinny, she's pretty good.
So Sicilian. That's awesome.
By the way,
Yes.
fans brought me presents. Okay. One of our Patreons who had been to the party, the outdoor show we did.
Okay.
Remember, remember we did a show 2.5 years ago and bought an $800 sound system that we've used that I store in my garage
Yes.
where I don't have any room. Remember that, Jackie?
Yes, I do.
So one of our patrons came to that show, and so she dropped off some COVID tests. Thank you very much.
Oh, very sweet.
I eat those for breakfast. And then another Jackie and Laurie fan who either she told me her name very quickly, or I thought she didn't, but maybe it was in the little package she prepared. And I'm warning you because you're going to the Comedy Attic soon.
Right.
They don't have lotion in the hotel room. Okay?
Oh, right.
I think the Marriott chain is testing this out because this happened before.
Okay.
And so I tweeted about it. The night guy, his name is Tyson. He's a fan of your show.
Okay.
He follows me on Twitter, so he prepared a little bouquet of lotion. So you can't go to the front desk and get lotion. You have to ask.
Okay. Okay.
But one of our listeners came by to the show and brought me like a basket, like a picnic basket of hotel lotion. And so
that's kind of perfect.
And I would like to thank our fans for keeping me hydrated and tested.
I had 2 fans come to the show at Comedy Works this week and bring me books that they have written, and I accidentally left them both. The 5 books.
Wow.
In the green room. So one was a series that looked like a young adult fantasy series, and the other one it looked like some mysteries, short stories, collections of short stories that a guy who did stand up back in like the 90s, I think.
Who? Do I know him?
No, I don't. I barely know him. He seems very nice, and we talk every time, and he's been on the Dork Forest. I think it's David Boop, Boop. Yeah.
Oh, I would know that name.
You would have remembered that name. Yes. But they're short stories. And it's unfortunate because I don't actually read short stories. I don't like them very much as a genre. They're not my jam.
If you buy a novel and only read 10 pages of it and then never pick it up again, you do read short stories. That's my
right.
tip.
Right. You're not wrong. Too funny.
I read Lois Bromfield?
Nope.
She was a major headliner in the 90s. Okay.
Her name is Lois?
Lois Bromfield.
Okay.
I brought her book to Flappers.
West Coast.
No, she was she was a road murderer. Okay. she did Caroline's Comedy Hour, evening. She did all those little things. I don't know if she did HBO. She may have done the Tonight Show. I'm not really sure. She was great though. I remember another comic telling me she kills like a guy. Comic, right?
And there was no greater
compliment.
There really wasn't.
I'm still excited when I hear it. Let me tell you. So she wasn't out back then because it was almost impossible, I mean, a couple of comics were, but they didn't get to work a lot of clubs.
Right.
Margaret Gomez, for example. But Lois, I think, was closeted and then came out a while ago. Like she worked on Roseanne. She wrote for Roseanne and stuff like that. She moved she fell in love with a German lady. So she moved to some small town in Germany like 10 years ago.
What?
Yes. And she, like, I guess she just does the occasional show in Germany and is living a German life now. But so she wrote a little memoir that's available on Amazon, and it is short. Let me tell you, I'm like, wait, what? But it was still like, I feel like she told 1% of the story she has, you know.
Right. Right.
It was still interesting to read, and she talked about moving to Germany and how jarring it is to be a comic. And all of a sudden you're in a small town, you know,
Right.
with
All of a sudden you're in German.
well waters. Yeah, exactly. So, but I accidentally ordered 2 of them, you know. That was
Okay.
an Amazon mistake. So Amazon refunded me for one of them, but they sent 2 anyway. So I left one in the green room, and I have one here. I don't know if anyone, you know, was reading it, but yeah, she wrote a little book, but I would love to hear more. I
Right.
think she needs a ghostwriter to really get some names out. We
Right.
need names. I wanted, because you know, those headliners in the 90s,
Yeah.
they were doing a lot of shit. A lot of
Yeah.
drugs. Almost all of them. Maybe not Rita Redner, but everybody else, it was a free for all.
Yeah. There was guys that I worked with. You know what is that guy? Oh, I can't remember. He lives in Tulsa, and he's
Oh, Rodney Carrington?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was working in Tulsa at the Tulsa Comedy Club, opening for a comic from Louisiana who was just okay and said to me, I'm just okay, but I'm really good at the social side of this. So I always work. And my
Wait, was he
wife
a white
won
guy and super high energy?
Louisiana.
Yeah, Louisiana white guy, super high energy.
Right,
Like,
closed on a spelunking vagina joke where he
oh my God.
literally pretended to put a helmet on with a light, and then he parted the folds of the vagina and said to the audience, "What are you guys doing here?"
Oh my God, that's kind of funny. I
pretty
could see that
solid.
killing. I like it.
You know what? It was
Post to
funny
my
twice.
TikTok, Jackie.
The other three shows that I had to watch it, I was
What are
like,
you doing
this
here?
is exhausted. But it was, I mean, he's right. It would be impossible to follow that joke. He had to close with it. So,
Sure, of course.
but it was, and that line is actually very funny, but some of the jokes were,
I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at it. He's peeking through the vagina. He sees the audience. I love it.
yeah. But he knew Rodney Carrington a lot. And so after one of the shows, he was like, we're all going to go out to this dive bar and they have nickel slots. I don't know what the hell it was, but so Rodney Carrington and his wife and I and this Louisiana comic whose name I'm spacing, we all go out and we hang out for a couple of hours, and then Rodney Carrington's wife is like, I want to go home. And so I am deputized to take Rodney Carrington's car, drive his wife home because she doesn't drive and she's half of the bag anyway, and then come back and give Rodney Carrington back his car. And Rodney Carrington is like, all right, there was some talk of drugs, and he was like, you haven't done any, right? And I said, I have not done any drugs. And he's like, because I really like this car. You're not going to mess with this car, right? And you know, it's 1996, and if maybe 98, maybe whatever it was, I think it was 96. But so I drive, I find their castle in the middle of nowhere, outside
Even
of
back
Tulsa.
then, he was making that kind of money.
He had just started like selling stuff out. So
Wow.
and then I drove back, and then I was trapped. I didn't have a car. I was like, how do I get out of this situation? She seems to have really lived it up. And then I don't know. I wonder how I did get back. I might have. It was weird because I remember getting a ride from someone else back to the condo. And then the Louisiana guy and Rodney drove the Louisiana guy, and he was very not sober. It was to politely, he was shit faced.
Okay.
So
Louisiana.
everybody
Okay.
was shit faced, including Randy, the guy who owned the Tulsa Comedy Club.
Oh, right.
So and
May
yeah,
he rest in peace.
may he rot in what? He was one of those guys where you're like, well, he's nice enough to me, but he was really gross.
Yeah, I heard
He
that.
was gross to other people, probably people without big hips.
Oh boy.
We're now there's talk, right? Jackie's hips.
Wait.
That's got to be either the name of the show this week.
Did you say that off mic, or did you tell that story on mic?
I told the story
Oh,
on mic, but in
maybe, yes.
between, I riffed about the hips, and now we're back to me riffing about the hips. So in between, Mike, yeah, because we had to figure some
What are
stuff.
you doing here?
It's still funny.
Lunking. I love it.
Little helmet.
All right.
Oh,
What are you going away this week? What do you got?
hey, first of all, yes, I'm in Albany, New York.
Oh,
Now,
that's right.
I'm calling on Jackie and Laurie fans in Albany, in Troy, in Schenectady, in Coxsackie. Okay, now's your time. I don't know if I'll ever go back to this club. I have no idea.
I'm calling Jackie and Laurie fans in Montreal to New Hampshire
Yes.
to come and see me in Vermont.
Get your passports out. Yeah, go see Jackie in Vermont. Go see me in all. Gosh, we're not too far from each other, actually.
Well, you know what I did? I thought it was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday gig, and it's just a Friday, Saturday gig.
Yeah.
So I was flying in instead of, I with those East Coast gigs, I got to fly in the night before. Because
Midwest too, half the time.
right. So I was my flight was for Wednesday, except for that the show's on Friday. So
You're getting in on Wednesday?
I'm not. I changed it to Thursday, but the first time I called, you ever call up and try to change a flight and they're like, well, it'll be another $340. And I was like, it was $1 million to buy this ticket and you want to charge me another $340? And so I was like, I might get a really nice hotel. And so then I called back last night and I got a different person and the guy goes, it'll be $18 to change it to Thursday.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is that a Delta phone call?
Yeah, it was a Delta phone call but I will say that I'd lost
Thursday as
Comfort
well.
I lost Comfort Plus. What?
Oh, that's too bad.
Mhm.
I'm flying JetBlue on Thursday.
Okay.
And then going to the apartment for about 10 hours and then taking Amtrak the next morning to Albany.
Okay.
And then I think there's one show on Friday. Saturday, I'm going to rent a car.
Okay.
And drive around.
And see your people. Here's so
my
you're flying to New
phone.
York. You're just flying to New York.
Yeah. And then then I'll return the car before on Sunday morning. And then just take the train to Penn Station and go Penn Station right to JFK. So
wow,
it's going to be a hell travel
That's
day.
a hell travel day.
Yeah, with lugging suitcases around. Hopefully I'll get rid of all my t-shirts,
I have to say that I looked into flying to Manchester, New Hampshire, but it's 3-hour drive. And same with Montreal, also a 3-hour drive. And I don't want to go through customs.
Right.
To not fly into Burlington. And so I also get there a lot later on Thursday than I would have gotten there on Wednesday. On Wednesday, I would have got there around 6 p.m. Now I'm getting there at like 11 p.m. So, but I don't have a show until Friday. So it should be, it'll be totally doable. It'll be exciting. It'll be nice to see Burlington, Vermont in the winter.
Yeah, I mean, when I was there for New Year's the year before last, I brought my son and we went skiing at Sugar Bush, which is like, it's like an hour away. It was really awesome. I don't know, I had a great time. I don't know if you're a skier. I did have the ski instructor did ask me when I was coming back.
7 years in, I don't, these doesn't accelerate. I don't strap things under my feet.
But if you go, there's like little hills that are really fun. It's just
I've cross country skied once.
Okay.
It was fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've never gone down a hill.
Okay.
Do
You
they
just
have
like a little-
sledding? Is there
little-
sledding?
There's snowboarding.
No. What I want to do is I want to sit on my ass and go down a hill. I also like ice skating. I don't mind ice skating. There's probably a
Well,
skate.
I'm
Too
sure
far.
there's plenty up there. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's great to be in Vermont when it's winter. That's a lot of fun. It's pretty.
Yeah,
That's how
it
winter's
is
supposed to
pretty.
look. Mhm.
Yeah. I like it in fall because it's super autumnal. It has that going for it.
Nice. A nice word choice, you know?
Sure, I'm a wordsmith. People know it.
Pretty excited
Uh,
that you pulled that out of your ass, right?
That's exactly where it came out of. Oh my God, what are you guys doing here? Hey, Kyle, where are we at?
Oh, we got about 15 left.
Guys,
Okay,
zero.
let's take another break.
Perfect.
Okay,
Okay.
we're back. Jackie, you have video of your live from here.
Yes, I
I
did
did
not know that they were videoing.
How did you get it?
I stole it off of YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
That's
Oh,
where I
didn't
that's
know
where I
that.
stole
Look,
it from.
Did you
Yeah.
do it before me?
Yes, I believe I did.
They must have continued it unless they stopped it. All right, I
Oh
will.
my God.
look.
You know that the musical Jean, what is his name? The musical guest at my live from here on NPR was so amazing. I was like, who are these musicians? They were so good. It was
I had
amazing.
Margot Price.
Okay.
God, I'm blanking on the other gal's name. They're all incredible. And then Chris Stapleton. Now he was at a different concert, so he kind of played a song live, but he wasn't at the same studio. But I had to follow Chris Stapleton.
Right. Who does Colbert's band?
Questlove.
That's Fallon.
Oh,
Yeah. I
oh,
forget-
John Baptiste.
John Baptiste.
Yeah.
He was the one who was there when I did live from here. And he was, quite honestly, it was amazing.
Wow.
And I know Jack about any number of things. So yeah, so it was a delight, but I didn't know it was being filmed.
I'll see if I can find it. It looks
It-
great.
Yeah, and it was a nice weird mix of jokes that what I do love is sometimes when they just go do 7 to 10 minutes.
Oh yeah.
They're not going to ask you what jokes you're doing.
Yeah.
They just assume you're an adult and your
Yes.
brain's attached to your mouth. That was how Two Dope Queens was too. And I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So it was, and so I didn't finish the spooky reading girl bit. I instead went into the imaginary friend bit. So it was just a set. Like literally, I just did it like a 7-minute set.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And it looks really good too. I have like my first Conan. I don't have the original copy of it. I somehow I downloaded it from America's Comics YouTube page or something. So it's like
Okay.
8th generation from a VCR. It looks like. I wonder if I can.
But I got my Conan set off of the Conan YouTube.
I don't know that they have my 2012 one up there. Let me check though, but I don't think they do.
Oh, so did you see Maria's Kickstarter?
Yes.
By the way,
Yeah.
she's doing pretty good. She needs 72,3, and I believe she's at like 50 grand.
Wow.
And you need, she's at so she's at 52,000, and she needs 72,000, and she has 11 days to go. And she filmed the pilot herself and paid for it.
Wow.
And the hilarious thing about her Kickstarter is it's such a classic Maria thing, because if you scroll down, it tells you the project, tells you get to watch the pilot, all well and good, and then you get to see the breakdown of what she's going to use the money for.
Oh,
It's
cool.
a nice little list of where all the cash is going,
Oh.
and yeah, including how much it costs to run a Kickstarter, and how much it costs to pay like the social media people and all these things. It's such it's so great. She was we were talking about it, and I said, "Did you ask all of your famous friends to retweet it?" And she goes, "No, that seems dumb." And she was like, "Patton helped me out so much when I was starting, when he helped me kind of blow up, and I wouldn't want to ask him." I said, "You helped me blow up, and I plan on asking you for shit till we're dead." So I don't understand why he would. What you're doing by not allowing your famous friends to not help you is you're not allowing them the gift of helping you, because
Right.
everyone is a fan. Like,
Yeah.
I am a fan of yours. I am a fan of Kyle's. You guys need me to retweet something? I'm
Mhm.
there as long as I'm on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a chore. It's not hard to do.
Yeah.
I'm wondering.
And it's about intrusive thoughts, right? Her series.
Right. OCD.
Yeah.
It's called No CD. And she does all the characters. And it's like her original web series that she
Yeah,
kind of did,
right.
except for very updated and super fun. And I really hope it works. And she told me that something like 600 people gave $1 each.
Oh.
And she's like, "That's great. I love it."
Yeah.
So everybody should find it, donate, retweet, do something. Because it'll be, especially if you like Lady Dynamite, especially if you like Maria Bamford. So because you'll get to see it. 3 more episodes. Yeah.
She's obviously she's very brilliant, but also, I mean, on stage, but like things like this where she's like, fuck it, let me try this. That's also like a talent as well. And
Right.
she's great at it,
Yeah. She's like, "Oh, I take it nobody wants to do this. Nobody else wants to pay for this, but I still want to make this. So I guess I'm going to do it." Yeah, that sort of willingness is it feels stand-up-y.
It does, but there's like this, I don't know. There's like, for me, there's this pressure to make everything seem like it's okay. You're doing great, and everyone wants you, and you're turning people down,
Oh, right.
and the idea, like, to me, if Maria presented this idea to a studio, it's like, fuck yeah. So the fact that has to Kickstarter it is truly an indictment on the industry, but also it's, I don't know, it just it's such
it is just because when she
feel like they gotta pretend like everything's great. Like, Instagram is really giving me like I can't look too much.
Are you getting the red ass? You getting the red ass? Which
the
is the red ass is getting all mad. But
no, I'm just like overwhelmed by everyone's careers, and I'm like,
oh, right, because it looks good on Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram is known for making everybody look better than sort of they are. Like, when I watch Otsko's Instagram, I'm just like, so much work she puts into these, and they're gorgeous, and they're super cute and
I
funny.
love it when I can see the work, like,
Yeah.
because then I go, well, I'm not willing to do that. So, God love anyone who is, and give her everything,
Right. She deserves all of it. All of it. Yes. I'm gonna do a Wino Vino. That's not what it's called. That's not how the wine place.
Yeah.
I'm doing that, I think, Monday, and now I'm in town. I'm in town till Wednesday, so I could do other shows.
Me too. I have nothing, so I'm gonna try to scare up some spots between Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Yeah. Oh, Tuesday I'm doing Wino Vino.
Yeah. I'm doing an hour for Comedy Dynamics, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be an hour, and I'm like, I do not want to drag other bits back from the dead to fill out the hour, right? Like, let me just. There's a few I'm keeping, that I'm doing, and let me just flesh out or tighten or whatever these existing bits and let it be an hour. Please don't make me go and get up these old bits that I considered, buried. That's all.
Fair enough.
So I need to do a ton of spots. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, where are we at? Because Andy just texted me and said dinner is ready.
5 more minutes.
Jackie, I say not enough today.
I have been on the road. I would love to share dinner with my husband.
I support this.
Goodbye.